Well, hello, and as you can see, I am at home and missing all of you. Those Wednesday nights seem in some ways a distant memory now, but I hope that you've been managing to read and follow the newsletters I'm sending out. And I thought today I would do something a little different. You'll still get the newsletter, but also I've recorded myself so you can see I still exist, I'm still here, and I hope you're all still there and able to watch this. And also the links to the videos I'm going to mention and are in this particular video. If you don't want to see me too often, you can just watch the videos themselves. So I hope you enjoy this selection of music. If you find something, as someone did this week and wrote to me and said, have you seen this one? I think it was BBC Philharmonic Orchestra, a streamed programme from a few years ago. It was fascinating. I might put that actually in the paperwork to go with this. If you've got anything you'd like others to see, then do pass it on through email to me. My address, I think you got from newsletters. I won't publish it on here because this is available for anyone to see around the world. So perhaps if you send it back to Pat or Chrissy or someone, then they'll get it to me. So the first thing we're going to enjoy today is actually one of the orchestra lockdown pieces. Orchestras all over the world have been getting in contact with their players and saying, can you record your part in this piece? Maybe they were approaching a rehearsal, a performance, and they've just continued their practice at home, and usually using a piece of software called a cappella, they've managed to record their parts and join them all up together with the help of some fantastic expert and produce some of the things you're going to see today. So we're going to start with one of these, and it's the Grieg Morning from Peer Gynt, done rather specially by the Orchestre Lyon. And there are some really wonderful touches in here. I won't spoil it for you, but watch very carefully and watch right to the end, because all sorts of little nice things happen with the players there. So I hope you enjoy this. The Orchestre Lyon playing Grieg's Morning from Peer Gynt.
Et voilà.
Si vous êtes sage, on ira se balader au jardin.
C'est parti.
So we're going to change to the piano next, and we're going to join Yuzha Wang. One of the great benefits actually of YouTube is that you can follow someone's career with interest, and we're going to see her as a teenager performing just for the benefit of friends. You can see how old this video is by the age of the phone that she's got at the side of the piano, one of these clamshell phones, and she's just caught on the wing practicing, and this is a rather famous excerpt of her work because she was later to become the selected pianist for YouTube to put in their first performance with their own symphony orchestra, and they chose Yuzha Wang to perform a concerto. In fact, the Prokofiev Third Concerto, and there's going to be a sort of reference to that in a moment because we're going to see her first in this video, which is called House of the Flying Fingers, but it's not really that. It's a piece which you'll all know very well, Mozart's Rondo alla Turk, but rather amazingly arranged by another pianist called Arkady Volodos, and then performed by many pianists around the world, and including Yuzha Wang here. So let's first enjoy that, and then I'll tell you about something else.
Not sure if I'm ready, but whatever. Are you ready?
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Zhu Wang at, I don't know, 18, something like that. And now we're going to see her as a mature young woman of 30 odd, and she's just going to play an encore for us at the end of a Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra concert. And probably a piece we should have started with today, because it's a toccata by Prokofiev. Zhu Wang is now famous for wearing rather spectacular clothes, dresses, well, almost dresses, and she's now one of the leading pianists in the world, and you may well have heard her. So when she first performed with the YouTube Symphony Orchestra, which was an all-expenses-paid trip to New York, they were auditioned online on video and then given free accommodation in New York to gather together and then to put out a live concert. And Yuzha played the Prokofiev Third Piano Concerto. Now we see her about to play Prokofiev's Toccata, following a performance of the same concerto. Just watch the look on the orchestra members' faces. This is the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra, and quite often when an encore arrives, the orchestra will, they'll be actually thinking, when are we going to finish and get home? But you can see they're really intrigued and amazed by her playing. Hope you enjoy. And now for a very different kind of keyboard. We're going to move over to the organ in Rouen, which is a spectacular example of the organ maker's work, Cavaille-Coll. These organs exist in all the big cathedrals, I think, across France, or many of them. Notre Dame being another spectacular example that was working until recently. I believe that organ has actually been saved after that terrible fire. But here in Rouen we've got another example, and this video shows you this dusty building. The building is empty, probably very appropriately for these times, although it was made, this video, before the lockdown, well before that. And it features a Finnish organist, if I get the name right, I'm going to look at my spelling here, Kalevi Kiviniemi. I hope I've got the pronunciation correct. He is a Finnish organist, trained in Helsinki, and now famous for playing French music. And here we see the famous Vidor Toccata from his 5th organ symphony. I think this is rather special because it really, if you can listen on some good speakers, the bottom notes of this organ just sound phenomenal. And there's that little bit of shaking in the camera work, which almost indicates that the vibrations in the building were really setting off all the technology behind this recording. I really enjoy this one. See what you think. finally, we're going to do 2 more of these orchestra lockdown performances, and I've tried to choose some of the best for you. We had that morning at the beginning which had an element of humour about it, and now we're going to move on to something very moving, I think, because it succeeds not only as a piece of technological bravado and virtuosity. It draws together, at one point, I think no less than 64 images, and the camera appears to pan across all the players in this spectacular production of Elgar's famous Nimrod from the Enigma Variations. And it's been done very well both on a sound level and also on the video level, so I'll just leave you to enjoy this one. So that was the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, and I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to move on finally to one final orchestra lockdown from this side of the channel, this side of the ocean, I should say. And it's the Opera North Orchestra. And I was rather sceptical this would really work, but see what you think. It's the famous opening to Also sprach Zarathustra by Richard Strauss. And don't switch off when you've heard just that opening part, because they go on to play what follows. And the string playing is really beautiful. I think this really hangs together extraordinarily well. So I hope you enjoyed all of the music I've presented for you today, and hope you didn't mind seeing me appear again in front of you, probably a bit closer than you normally see me. And I look forward to seeing you once again next week. And don't forget to send in those requests if you've got any. Any messages are lovely to receive while we're all separated from each other. Have a great week.